Macmillan Audio presents The Recipe Box by Viola Shipman. Read for you by Susan Bennett.
Prologue. Apple Crisp. Fall, 1939. Alice washed her hands in the kitchen sink, looked out the window, and smiled. The last of the day's light filtered through the brightly colored leaves of the sugar maples and sassafras, basking the kitchen in an otherworldly glow. One good storm off the lake, one sweeping windstorm, and the leaves would be gone. The trees would be bare. The orchard's twigs and limbs just silhouettes, the land ready to hibernate once again. But for now, she thought, the leaves remain. She smiled again. As do the apples. Alice could see two figures moving in the orchard. Leo, she whispered to the kitchen window, unconsciously twirling her wedding ring. She watched the dog circle the man, its tongue and tail wagging. "Oh, Mac," she laughed. The angle of the sun cast their shadows down the hillside, their silhouettes making them look like giants. The man held a basket, and when he reached to pick an apple, the light made it seem as if he were hugging the tree, caressing its limbs, saying good night. Just like he does with me, Alice thought, leaning even farther to look out the kitchen window. Alice could feel the chill in the approaching night air creep through the gaps in the windows and the chinks of the old logs. And as Mac circled Leo in delight, his barks echoing through the orchard, causing birds to scatter, Alice turned on the oven to preheat. She pulled a carving knife and pastry blender out of the kitchen drawer, as well as a baking dish and a red speckled enamelware bowl from the cupboard. Then she arranged flour, sugar, and cinnamon on the old wood counter. She opened the refrigerator and reached for the butter. Her husband came through the door and handed her a basket of apples. "You don't have to do that," Leo said, looking around the kitchen, seeing the items lined up on the counter. His smile, however, belied his words. "I know," Alice said. "But I want to." "Okay, then," he said happily. "I'll build a fire. Getting chilly." He started out the door with Mac, then turned and said, "We make a great team, don't we?" "Like cinnamon and sugar," she laughed. "No," he said. "We made it through the Depression somehow, this orchard intact. We've been married over 30 years. He stopped. "We complement each other. Bring out the best." "Like cinnamon and sugar," she repeated. This time he laughed. "Yes, like cinnamon and sugar." He and the dog went back outside, and Alice began to peel and core the apples, her knife pirouetting in quick circles, leaving curlicues of bright red and green skin in the bowl. She sliced and diced the apples, then started her topping. She worked from memory. The recipe was ingrained in her mind. She had been taught by her mother and grandmother. This dessert was the family's favorite, the one everyone requested while the apples were fresh, ripe, and just off the tree. But now everyone is gone, Alice thought, on their own, leading their own lives. She stopped, away from the orchard. As she tossed the apples in sugar and cinnamon, she no longer saw her hands, but those of her mother and grandmother, knuckles that were beginning to resemble the sassafras tree out the kitchen window, the skin more and more like waxed paper. Alice didn't like the look of her aging hands, but today she appreciated their beauty, their imperfections, their character and history. "How many times have I made this apple crisp?" she wondered, as she continued, not bothering to measure, just going by instinct, a dash of this, a little more of that, eyeing the topping to ensure it resembled little pieces of gravel, not too big,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?